endless skies. Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained I thrive,
Then thank you so much for joining us here on Nomads 50 Plus. My name is Chris Kalaboukis, and it's my mission, my current mission, to interview 1,000 digital nomads. That's right, folks, 1,000 digital nomads to get their stories and make it less scary for you to leap into the life of being a digital nomad.
And I am Mary Bartnikowski. I started traveling the world at age 49 full-time. I'm age 69 now, and I'm still having a kick-ass life. I am the CEO of Fun, and I can help you get you on the road because I'm on that mission, too, to see you travel and enjoy your life to the hilt.
Nice. I'm also the CTO of Games, so it fits right in with what you're doing.
Yes.
So is it true? So last time when we did our first show back in February, you were 19 years a nomad. So now you're 20 years a nomad. So it's officially 20 years.
When I figured out that I made that leap at age 49, I'd been doing long-term travel, but then when I made that leap, it was a different thing because that's when I sold everything. And yeah.
So we've been doing this since February, and I've been interviewing, obviously we've been talking a lot, plus I've been interviewing a lot of nomads from all different walks of life who all jumped into the life, and they're all over 50, and they're all the one thing that I really noticed about every single one of them is that they were ridiculously happy. Mm-hmm. They're so happy, and they're so happy about what they're doing and where they are, and no matter where they are on the socioeconomic scale, whether it's somebody sort of van lifing it through the United States, all the way to people who are bouncing around the planet. They spend 3 or 4 weeks here or there, to people who are have been in Portugal for like 4 or 5 months and hope to be there even longer. No matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, everyone seems overjoyed about their life. And it's amazing. I was talking to one of the guys, Jerry, I think his name. You've probably seen him on Substack, and we were having so much fun on this show. I'm like, this is the happiest guy I know now.
Oh, good.
I don't know anybody happier than this guy.
Well, you know what it is? I think it's okay. This is probably the biggest thing that I can say. We're choosing happiness rather than waiting for this outdated notion about what happiness means. And what we've been fed here in the United States is get the high-powered job, 6 figures, 7 figures. Get that. Get
the corner
your
office,
house,
the window, the view.
The whole formula. And personally, I haven't been following that in my regular life before I decided to do this. I mean, it started with me choosing to have my own business, but this life is like having your own business and taking more responsibility for how you're going to make money, how you're going to live your life. And that doesn't fit anybody else's blueprint.
Yeah.
And so when you're following it yourself, how could you not be happy?
Yeah, exactly right. And at one point in my life, I actually worked for a bank. I was a pretty high-powered person, and I had it wasn't a corner office, but it was like right beside the corner office, so it was a really nice view of San Francisco. And it was beautiful, right? And I thought to myself, yes, I've made it. I'm on like the 18th floor of the bank building or whatever, and this beautiful view, and it's nice. But I still had to trudge to work. Still had to commute, and the actual work itself was ridiculously unfulfilling. It was like the worst possible thing I could do. I mean, you know what it's like living. I don't know if you've had any jobs in major corporates, but you know how it's almost like being in a spider's web. You can barely move because of the systems and processes and people and everything that you've done. I feel like in the time I was there, I feel like I accomplished nothing, right? Because it was just so difficult to affect any change.
Well, there's so many layers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, the one corporate thing I did was a weekly yoga program at Intel.
Wow.
Now that sounds like, that would be fun. No, the stuff I encountered was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just doing this 1.5 hour program per week brought all of this corporate stuff to my attention that since I had not worked in a big corporation like that, and I wasn't an employee, I was we were doing it very, let's see how this goes, and people did like it, but wow.
Yeah, and you got the glimpse of what it was like in that life.
the glimpse of what it was like was enough to make me never want to do it. I just couldn't believe what they were going through. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I kept doing it because I felt like, oh, this is a good outlet for them because they're not going to go to a yoga studio because that takes a different kind of motivation, but
Yep.
they will show up at the gym to do this program. But I was really shocked to tell you. And I think part of this happiness thing is going, okay, this is what doesn't make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly does, and getting in touch with that. And that takes a lot of guts, but you get better at it. You get better at doing.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is that they're comfortable, but they're not happy. I mean, you talk to any of these people, and it's amazing how they seem to be just okay with it,
Yeah.
right? They're okay with it because money's coming in, and it's a consistent thing, and it's like, okay, well, I can just slide on into retirement doing this thing.
Comfort is a trap.
Yeah. And but you're not, like, if you ever ask yourself, you sit back and ask yourself, am I happy doing this?
Yeah.
The answer is no, I'm not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Or there's hesitation with the answer to that.
Yeah.
And then that would mean that you had to face some hard truths in yourself, which I don't think often a lot of people want to do. They just kind of want to gloss over it. And,
Yeah.
honestly, you know what? The thing is, unless something bad happens,
Mm,
you don't have to. That's why I think one of our past conversations was I was pitching this thing to you about what I wanted to do, life wallops, about how people overcome that stuff. And then I realized that's what makes you change your life and go, oh, wait a minute. This isn't how
exactly.
I want to do things.
Yeah. Almost everybody who I've talked to has that kind of wallop, right? Something serious happens in their life, whether they're divorced or somebody dies or something,
Financial.
they get canned when they don't want to be canned, etc. There's so many like events that are out of people's control that sort of drive them into figuring out this new way of life. And I think very few of them, maybe 1 or 2%, very small number, actually plan it all out and go, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to eventually be there. But almost all of them are sort of thrust into this position where they can make new decisions about their life, and then they've always like improved upon what they did before. It's always
Yeah.
better, always, every
And
single time.
isn't that so interesting and intriguing that no matter what happens to you, you're going to go through it. It doesn't feel fun at the time.
Absolutely not. It is the worst.
Oh, I mean, when I think back, but then, I think about stuff I've been through and you're absolutely right. 100% when it was over, got through it, dealt with it. And then it was always something better.
Yeah, always. And that's what, as even I tell that to everybody I know who's been laid off. It's like every
Yeah.
single time someone's laid off, they always find something better, and it gives them the opportunity to explore new paths that they weren't exploring before.
And
And
get out of their comfort zone.
yeah, exactly. And it's unfortunate that something has to happen, like some external event has to occur to drive people into this when they could decide to do it themselves at any point. Right?
But you know what? I kind of am grateful. I'm thinking about a lot of gratefulness this week because I thought there was a gas leak in the house and
Oh,
30
no.
firemen showed up.
Holy crap. Were they right out of the right out of the calendar?
Right out of the calendar. Oh, some of them were very attractive. They were so
Some
nice.
of them were right out of the calendar.
Well, I think some of them were. I was so impressed with these guys. They came in like 5 minutes. And so this is related because a situation that I was starting to feel kind of woozy and I don't know what
Uh-oh.
it was. But anyway, they showed up, checked everything out. They were so kind
Mm,
and not making me feel like, oh, you got us all hurt. No, they handled everything. They're like, do you need an ambulance? I mean,
Oh, nice.
they were so nice. And I thought, wow, I am so grateful for this kind of help
Mm,
that I'm getting. Now, I wouldn't have had this experience if I didn't think I was going to die from gas.
right. Because you're
Get
sitting there
the-
woozy going, okay, am I going to die from gas?
I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't feel right to me.
A
And
lot of
so,
body experience sort of thing.
yeah, it was starting to be that. And so the thing was, what I learned from that thing, I felt so grateful to these guys for handling they were in full regalia, like they were going to
Of
fight a
course.
fire.
Of course.
I
They've got to be
just
ready for everything.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, these people are saints. I mean, honestly, they are really doing an incredible job. So it made me feel like if something hadn't gone wrong, to call them and find out what the hell was happening, I wouldn't have had this huge feeling of gratefulness. And so it made me very happy. And so I was thinking about how bad things happen, these life wallops, and I don't think it's so bad, because how else are we going to get jerked out of our comfort zone
Exactly.
of the pay? Like when I was doing wedding photography, I never thought I remember thinking this is so well paying, and I did like it and it was fun. But after 725 weddings and traveling around the world, I thought I want to do something else, but it was very hard to walk away from the money.
Yes. Well, I think that's the biggest thing that people have trouble walking away from, is the consistency of the money.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I have to spend 8 hours a day doing this thing I don't really enjoy doing, but at least I get paid. It's like, what kind of a life is that?
Well,
right?
and even if you do like what you're doing, but you want to change, that money is very seductive.
Oh, very much so, for sure.
Ooh. And so then
it's like
you
being
have
on drugs, right?
It's like a drug. I mean, honestly, don't you think being in Silicon Valley, I think money is the drug.
Oh,
Prestige
yeah. Well, we never used
may
to be
be
like
second.
that. That's relatively recent, I think. Relatively recent.
I know, because we've been here so long that we were in the time of the innovation and everybody was having a good time and fun, and
we were building stuff. We were creating things. We were denting the universe. Remember Steve Jobs' speech? He said, "Go out there and dent the universe."
I do. I do remember.
Now no one's denting the universe. We're just having billion-dollar valuations. That's all we care about. It's like, so annoying.
And that has really changed it in an unfun way. And, it's great to have had that history because we know the roots of where it all came from.
Yeah.
And we're still here. God knows why.
It's the weather. It sucks you in.
It's the weather.
Like the weather's so nice.
There's a lot of good stuff about it. I mean, something happened. Well, for example, those firefighters. I mean, I don't know if that's available everywhere in the world, but those men were incredible.
Yeah.
And they checked everything and made sure I was safe. One person, I did a little video, but there was this one moment where like all 30 of them were in the front lawn. The lawn isn't big. I didn't get a picture of it. I was so overwhelmed with the love.
But I wouldn't be surprised that if that happened in Syracuse, you'd still get 30 Italian firefighters, but they would be better dressed, right? Because their uniforms.
Probably wouldn't. No, you're right.
Your uniforms would be much sharper because have you seen the Italian cop uniforms? They're like snazzy.
And those guys look good.
Oh man.
Oh my God, I love that place. Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like, it's like every single person I've spoken to has been much happier in living the life that they're living now. And it's just there's this gulf you have to cross if you don't have something major happening in your life. If you don't have this wallop, it's really hard to cross that gulf. It's really hard to it's almost like we were saying before, it's like you're trying to get off the drug. It's this IV drip of your salary just coming in every week or every 2 weeks. And you're like, oh man, it's really nice. I kind of like that. It doesn't make me happy, but I kind of like it.
But it puts you in this place of not wanting to try new things, because why mess with that?
Exactly.
And I felt like that when I thought I wouldn't be able to stop doing wedding photography, even though I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
But to look at it like, oh, wait a minute, what am I going to do for money?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be as consistent, because it's very lucrative. And, you get caught up in the lucrative thing, and then all of a sudden, even if it is something you enjoy, but you want to try a new thing.
Yes.
Like this is what I get when I travel and I'm in Europe and Asia. People don't feel so motivated by money.
Yes, exactly right. Well, outside of Silicon Valley and New York, and I think a few other places, people don't feel so motivated by money. And I
Yeah.
think that's a good thing. It's a good thing to sort of step away from that mindset. And the other thing is that so on the one side, we are all thinking about how much money we need, right? But on the other side, when you're traveling, you don't need as much money as you think. So these two things sort of map against each other, right? So if you've got a
Right.
modicum of savings, you can actually go start traveling the world at a relatively and still have a decent nest egg.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think people know that either because they've only gone on vacations that, in myself included, that's how I used to travel too, that were, $1,000 a day
Yeah,
rather than what you can actually do is do $100 a day in
yeah,
so many places.
yeah.
And I don't think because of the experience of not knowing and doing it. I mean, I didn't either. That first trip to Nepal, I was completely shocked at
Hmm.
how you can hear that something is low cost, but then when you're actually paying less than $30 for accommodation and it's good,
Yeah.
how are you going to know unless you don't really believe it? And so I think that the thing about happiness is that people don't want to experiment
Mm.
and investigate. Like, oh, let's take off. I mean, I was just reading some of my old writing and I realized that I hadn't taken 2.5 months off since being a teenager.
Mm.
Like I've always, and I think that's probably true of a lot of people that
Well,
have been
most people have been
working.
like that. They get their 2 weeks of vacation or 1 week vacation, or it's like I can't get away from. Last time I took 2 weeks, it's kind of like everything blew up, and your boss is saying, "Never go away again." And I'm like, what kind of a life is that?
That's not going to work in Europe where they take the whole month of August off. I mean, those
Exactly.
people have the right idea.
Hell yeah, absolutely. And they're probably some of the happiest people on the planet, right? The ones who take the time off and this is we do have to get away from this money mindset, right? We do have to get away from this money mindset because it's like so many people are so concerned about money when it's really the time that's the most valuable thing. It's the most important thing, right? And if you're spending your time doing in the pursuit of money, then you know how are you going to be happy? It's not going to make you happy. Definitely
Oh,
not.
yeah. But that can take a long time to figure out. I don't really think I came up on that until I started traveling. And
Yeah.
it was a byproduct of realizing, oh, wait a minute, I actually don't even have to save that much money to be able to do this. I mean, one time I spent 18 months in Asia
Yeah.
and didn't go back. Stayed there the whole time in
Yeah.
different countries. And
And you didn't have to supplement your income. Your savings were enough to cover you.
my savings were enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I did end up doing some jobs here and there with yoga and writing and photography. Oh, and there, another thing, and I don't think people realize this too. They can do, I mean, I did a lot of volunteer projects and, I would get room and board, sometimes board. I mean, the room always. And that's a really fun way to do it. And
Hmm.
that can come up on the road too. It doesn't really happen so much here in the United States and maybe even in Europe, but definitely in Asia, you can do that. And I
Right.
think that kind of doing things on the fly, people here want to plan things and have a finite end to it. Like, if I do a round trip ticket, I immediately feel depressed.
Right.
I'm like, I have to come back on that date. I much rather do it one way because then I don't know for sure what day I'm coming back.
Yeah. But see, like so for some people you pile up the cash and then you go and you're free. And then for some
Hmm.
people they need to have the money coming in. And I think the biggest problem is the transitioning from the constant IV drip of money
Yeah.
every month, or you
Yeah.
know exactly how much you're going to make over the course of this next year, to the whole, okay, who knows? Today I might make $170. Next week I might make nothing. After
Yeah.
that it's 3,000. So how do you transition from the constant drip to the, hey, we're not sure where our next dollar is coming from?
You know, I can attribute having my own business for 40 years and how I got used to that because it doesn't seem like anything now. So I would say, because I've been self-employed for 4 decades, so I'm
Wow.
used to that ebb and
Congratulations.
flow. Thank you. You know, in Silicon Valley, that's not an
You
easy
beat the
thing.
odds.
Yeah, yeah. I
If you
mean,
survive 10 years, that's great, but 40 years, that's amazing.
yeah. And
You should have
so,
like an established, like ES established whatever year,
yeah, it was
19
1985.
1985. Established 1985. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
In one of the most expensive places to live in the country.
Yeah, exactly. That's very cool.
Yeah, and so I'm proud of that. But what I think one of the best things it taught me was that your income is going to change. You're not going to be able to consistently say, "Oh, I'm going to make this." Like
Yeah.
whenever I would make a lot of money, I'd be like, "Wow, I made," I'd add it up and go, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot."
Yeah.
But without expectation that it was going to be that actual figure. So I think what people have to do is get more spiritual about
Mm,
the whole money thing, because if you, I think it would have been very different if I wasn't coming from having my own business, because
right.
when you take that step away from working for someone, it can feel really good.
Yeah, because that's
And-
but that's what you're doing, really. I mean, you're becoming an entrepreneur. You're
yeah,
going from whatever you're doing before to an entrepreneur who just happens to travel all the time,
yeah.
right?
So
And even the step to becoming an entrepreneur is hard for some people. And we talked about this before about how this whole life is not really for everybody. Some
it's
people can
not.
do it, and some people can't do it. And it's actually, if you think about it, it's piling a whole bunch of things all at once. That's why it's such a challenge, I think, for some people, is that not only are you becoming an entrepreneur, you're also traveling, you're figuring out where you're going to be. There's like so many parts of the process to do what you want to do. But so each one of them is kind of a barrier to entry. But once you pass those barriers, you become like the happiest person on the planet.
Well, you have to believe that you can be. I mean, I just wanted to experiment and try something new because my heart was
Right.
calling me to do it. But I
Yeah.
think what you could do is go, okay, I'm going to experiment here. And
Mm.
if I need to make money as I'm traveling, then you definitely have to have a remote situation going. It
Right.
doesn't even mean that you have to have an actual employment contract from a company. You can try some different things like, teaching English online or doing some writing, or, there's some possibilities. You got to dig into it and see what you could really do to get some money as you travel. So if that is something that feels a little bit better to you, then I think that would be the first stop.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can do that while you're doing whatever else you're doing, right? So if, let's say you have a corporate gig, you have a
yeah,
regular job,
yeah,
and you want to do this at some point in the future, you could always, add it as a side gig. Create a side hustle
yeah.
and create a little. And personally, I think everybody should be an entrepreneur at some point in their life,
I
just
do
to see what
too.
it's like.
I do too.
It's like super exhilarating and amazing, but for some people, it's like, oh my God, this is the worst possible thing I could do.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I first started in 85, I would have these clients, these high rollers come over for a meeting for wedding photography, and they'd be like, once in a while, they'd be like, how can you do it without working for, because they had their medical and all of their benefits. And
Yeah.
I was always like, I have to have this kind of freedom.
Hmm.
This was always a goal for me when I was working for people, that I would have my own business. And I come from a family of everybody ended up having their own business because nobody wanted to work for anybody and have a boss. I mean, my son has suggested some things to me sometimes, and I'm like, honey, I can't have a boss. There's just no, I don't want to. No, I really love the freedom of, I don't really have to work with that person if I don't want to.
Yep.
I can say no to that. That's great. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm not an 8-figure, income level, but that's okay because I I think when you figure out what you really want, do you want the freedom? Do you want to travel? You are going to have to make some different decisions.
Yep, exactly right.
And try some things and be scared in the process.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't know the wedding photography would work so well, but I
Yeah,
tried it and it worked. And I've had other businesses too. So
yeah,
you just have to try things, see how it goes. And you can do that even with a job. Like you said, you can try it.
yeah. And I think the thing is also the whole research paralysis thing,
Yeah.
where people just spend, months
Years.
and years, literally years,
Yeah.
watching videos like this one and getting prepared and planning and thinking and going, oh, this would be great. I'd like to go there, blah, blah, blah. But then they never pull the trigger and do anything. And you got to pull a trigger, like it's just something, because you won't know unless you try it. You have to
No.
take the step and do the experiment, because we were talking before, buy the plane ticket or get the side hustle going, or like there's all these pieces that are part of it, but just take the easiest piece for you and do that one piece and then see how you feel and get feedback from it, see how it's working, and then pivot and do something else. If it's not working, if it's working, then great, use that as a stepping stone to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
I think people are afraid things aren't going to work because often things don't work.
Yeah.
And I've tried many things that
Let's talk
didn't
reality here, right?
work. Well, I'm thinking of something when I was living down the street from the Dalai Lama in India. He said something very interesting.
Did you ever go ask for a cup of sugar? Hey, do you
Well,
call him Dolly, or what do you say?
Dolly? That's so funny. Well,
Hello,
half
Dolly.
the time he wasn't there, but he had very intense security.
Okay,
So I got to know those guys.
You could ask the security guy for a cup of sugar.
Yes, I did go over and talk to the security, and they'd be like, nobody can see.
So I
But
just want to
did,
go there and say hello, Dolly. I don't know
yeah,
why.
I did get to photograph him twice, but I had to go through a whole thing to
Oh,
be
nice.
able to
Did
do
you have
that.
a conversation with him?
Well, here's what happened. He actually, it wasn't like I'm alone with the Dalai Lama and I'm doing his portrait. No, it was just like you can have a camera and be near him, and there's only like 2 people that can do that. Like everybody, like they don't allow anybody with a camera to get near him unless you
Right.
go through this whole security thing. So I was able to go to an event,
Right.
and
So
he
it's not
looked.
like
Yeah, it's not like a person, but I did have it at this very small event at this nunnery, and he said to me when I walked in, "Get her some tea."
nice.
And I was like, "Oh my God, the Dalai Lama
Well, the
is
Dalai Lama
acknowledging
cares
me."
about your welfare. I love it.
I mean, and then the next time I photographed him, I swear to God, and I have a picture of it. I was waiting to get a picture of him in this crowd of 10,000 people, and he looked right at me and waved. I had no idea he'd remembered
Wow.
me from last time. And I
That's
have a picture of him waving at me.
So you didn't look dehydrated by any chance? Is that why he said, get her some tea?
Get her some tea. No, he just because there were 50 nuns in there and everybody had their tea.
Oh, except for you.
And
Well,
so I
you
was coming
should
in
have
late
tea.
because his big badass security guard was saying I couldn't go in even though I had a press pass.
What?
And I was like, "You're going to have to kill me." So he turned his head and I walked in. He was like 12 inches taller than me. And I just ran in and I thought, I'm going to have to sit right in front of the Dalai Lama. I'm going to have to, because this guy's not going to want to make a scene
Yep.
and and pick me up, which he could have done. He was huge. Anyway, that's what he said. So as soon as he said that, it was like acknowledging me to join
Nice.
the 50 nuns.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, but it's not like an audience with the Pope, right? It's definitely different.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've done one of those. It's like you're going to get mowed down with these people. People are going insane. Yeah, there's some decorum with the Dalai Lama.
Right. But with the Pope, it's just every man for himself kind of thing.
Nuts. That's being too close to humanity. Anyway, I want to tell you what he said. He said,
Sure.
everybody doesn't have to become a Buddhist. Don't just like turn in it to a Buddhist, like because of what I'm saying. He goes, you have to investigate and experiment. If you're Catholic, Christian, Hindu, whatever, you can still be all that stuff. You don't
Exactly.
have to switch over and, follow everything I say. You have to experiment. And I thought, this really makes me understand life in a deeper way, that you can't, like, even he knows that it's not like he's out converting people. He's
Yeah.
just helping people live their life better. That's what we're
Exactly.
trying to do here.
Exactly. And Buddhism itself is not really a religion. It's more of a way of life. If you ask
Exactly.
me, it lines up with other things. You can practice both.
You can. You don't have to be, this devotee for the rest of your life. I mean, that's one of the things I love about it, that it just makes you think differently, meditate more, be more calm.
I wouldn't even, they classify it as a religion, but for me, it doesn't even feel like a religion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are religious elements to it, of course, but at the same time, it's definitely more about, it's completely different from, if you call it a religion, it's completely different from every other single religion. Every single other religion.
Absolutely.
Right? It's kind of an outlier over there, and it's just, some of the precepts are amazing, and I think you can do it in line with others, and not have to worry about any conflicts, really.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to ever, if you ever stay in a Buddhist place, and I've stayed in many, they're never going to be like, oh, you have to do it this way and, believe all these things. It's like, no, it is about living better.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing.
Is there a lot of sweeping involved by any chance? Is there a lot of sweeping in these?
Sweeping. I'm going to go back there again too this month. And there is, I wasn't in love with the sweeping in the kitchen, because you have to lift up these rubber mats.
But you were sweeping mindfully, weren't you? You were mindfully sweeping.
Yeah. You don't have to be in a hurry.
Well, yeah. In fact, you shouldn't be in a hurry, because then you're doing it more diligently, right?
You can take your time and see, this is what I think is so great, that we don't get a lot of exposure to this in this country, is that when you're doing something mindfully, you're not in a hurry. You're not trying to keep up with somebody else. You're just there doing your job. Nobody's going to get mad at you for not doing it fast.
Yep. So what would you say is the number one thing that makes you happy in the life that you're in?
I think the freedom of choice is the first thing. And, I've reflected about this a lot. And freedom is really big. And then another thing is that I can take time for things that I love doing, like my spiritual practice. And I never even knew how important that was until I started traveling. And that makes me really happy, because after even when I'm doing it, and that's why I'm going back to the Zen training this month, because it gives you this sense of calm that, for me, I really need that. And so I think that the kicker is to figure out by trying different things. And I never stayed in temples before. Like, this
That wasn't your dream before all this?
No, I had questions growing up in Catholicism about stuff that didn't get answered. So that was always there. And I thought, I really want to find out. And so when I was in these Buddhist places, mostly Buddhist, one Hindu ashram in India that I'll go back to, that I've stayed, I would investigate in their libraries. They have these vast libraries of all these religious books that you can go delve into. It's amazing. And the better ones have them. So you can just go in there and read to your heart's content and get some answers. I mean, there's Tibetan Buddhism, there's Christianity, there's all different
Oh,
sects
wow. I
of
love
it.
it. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I love libraries.
There's everything. I mean, the two best are
Books are my weakness.
Kopan Monastery in Kathmandu, and the other one is Thosamling Nunnery in Dharamsala, India, which is get some funding from the Dalai Lama. That's a wonderful one. So that one's
Is this the
run
one
by
you can
nuns.
just it's just so vast you can get lost and
You
see
can
all
get
these.
lost.
Oh man,
Yeah. I mean, it's so
can I
ultimate.
just go live there?
Yeah. You
Just put a
can,
mat on the ground and sleep there and
yeah, you can spend you can spend your time in there as long as it's open.
right.
If you're staying at the
I love
place, you
that.
can take the books to your room.
Oh,
And
fantastic. I would love
yeah.
that.
So that was one of the things I was like, oh my God, so this is amazing that I can do all this research and read these books that you're not going to find that collection everywhere.
Hmm.
It's absolutely mind boggling what they have on offer in terms of finding out about different religions and practices around the world. So, I mean, I didn't even, I didn't even know that existed.
Mm. So that's another thing. It's like, so not only do you have the happiness from the freedom that you have to do whatever you want, when you go to these places and you just discover them, that must be very joyous as well. Like
Oh
discovering
my God.
these new places.
Yeah, I mean, so the Zen Training Center, I mean, it's a Shasta Abbey.
It's not far from here either. It's not even
It's not
far.
far.
Yeah.
I don't even know of a place that would be even similar to that. And I went up to Mount Shasta a million times before I actually took the step to go to the place.
Hmm.
So the funny thing to me is how much is on the other side of your fears and your concerns that is amazing, and that you're not going to find out if you don't take some risks
Yeah. And
and
this is the barrier of your own
experiment.
doing, right?
Yeah, of
Because
our own
anybody,
doing.
yeah, yeah, we've put this barrier up ourselves, and we can tear it down if we want to tear it down.
Yeah, I mean, it comes to a point where you're like, wait, is this making me happy? Maybe I should consider something else.
Mm.
And, I hear a lot of excuses from people just, online and in life where they're just like, well, I can't do that because A, B, C, and D. Okay,
At my
maybe.
age,
Oh, yeah. I just did a video on don't take it easy, take it hard. Because,
I like that. Now is
you
the
know,
time to take it hard, damn it.
we're this whole being in your 50s and 60s. I mean, look at the people ourselves included. We've got energy. We're doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm always doing
perfect
something
time in
new
your
every
life
day.
for this. What'd you say?
Exactly. I'm always trying to do something new every day, right? I mean,
Yeah, you
and
are.
constantly learning. It's like I see people who are just sort of like they sit in front of their TVs all day long,
Oh,
or they're just relaxing, or they're just it's like what are you doing? I would be learning till I die. I
yeah.
will never stop learning. I will always be reading. I will always be watching things. I will always be, enhancing myself and writing and creating. That is
Hmm.
something I will never stop doing. And it's just I can't imagine not doing that. I
Well,
just
I
can't.
think I think the people that aren't doing it haven't tried it to the point where they get so much joy from it.
Right.
Like when I started writing, I this was bubbling inside me for decades, and then when I finally was like, "You're gonna turn 40, you better start." And so I did that artist's way. You write 3 pages every day. Man,
What a
I
great
loved it.
book. I love that book.
What a great
That is the
book.
best book. Everyone needs to read that book. Every single
Everybody.
person on the planet needs to read that book if they have not read it yet.
Yeah, I've read it 3 times, and I get something out of it differently every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No,
And I
it's
should probably read it again.
well,
Because,
see, there's a lot of people out there who are like, "Oh, I'm not creative. I don't do things." It's like,
oh,
what are you talking about? Everybody is creative. Everybody. And
I
there's
think
never been
that's
there's never been a better time to let that creativity out, too.
excuses.
Exactly.
I just, it's like people that tell themselves, oh, I can't learn a new language. I'm too old.
What? At
Well,
my age, forget it.
this is such a myth. How did that get so much traction?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Everybody thinks that. Well, not everybody. I mean, I think there's enough people that are like, okay, I think
Yeah.
maybe I could do it, but it's a minority.
but even that shouldn't stop you because I talked to somebody who lives in Portugal and I said, "How's your Portuguese?" She goes, "It's okay, but
Yeah,
I can still get around." She's been there for a year and
yeah,
she's still doing just fine, just
yeah.
absolutely fine.
Well,
And it's kind of like, go
it's
ahead.
amazing what you can do without knowing the language
Yeah,
and just trying.
yeah, exactly.
But people don't realize that because they don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, but the fact that people just so they underestimate themselves so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. You see people who are saying, I can't do this for this reason, for this reason, for this reason." All those reasons are just they're clouds. You can just walk right through them. They're things you put up yourself. You've made your own reasons for not doing it.
Well, that's the main barrier to happiness is your
Yeah.
own excuses and reasons, and I don't believe that. And I mean, I see getting older as this grand experiment,
Mm.
and it's much better than I thought it would be. And I am more okay. So there's a lot of things about it that are very valuable. Like you can figure things out often faster than
Well,
you
that's the
used
thing
to
about
when you,
experience too, right? I mean,
right.
something you take a 20, 30, 40-year-old and it would take them more time to figure it out. And we've like been there, done that like 17 times. So we can do it in seconds
Yeah.
that they can't, and that they can, it takes them, hours and weeks to figure out.
Yeah. And, I wouldn't want to go back.
No.
No way. Uh-uh. I don't care how beautiful my skin was or how perfect my body was when I didn't even know it was. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even get it.
Yeah.
So why
Exactly.
go back to that time?
Exactly.
It's so much better being at this time. And I feel like, if people go into that whole, oh, at my age thing, it's like, you're holding yourself back at a time when it's actually better than if you traveled in your 20s.
Oh, exactly. Exactly right. You get much more. I mean, I think about when I took my kids to all these places in Europe and they're like they didn't appreciate it at all.
Yeah.
And we can appreciate things so much more than they can because of what we have, but because of our history, because of what we know, because of what we experienced and how we compare it to what we're seeing now. We can appreciate it so much more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I still think it's valuable you took them because, I
Oh, I
traveled.
agree.
Yeah,
But go
I
ahead.
did some traveling. We did some traveling as a family to far off Bora Bora and he does, even though he was only like 2 or 3, we went twice. He remembers some stuff. And I remember
Nice.
this person in Bora Bora going, "Oh, it's too bad your son won't remember any of this," because he was 2. And I go, "He's gonna remember." Like, how do you know? And he does. He remembers some moments from it. And he's been to 55 countries
Right.
himself. I guess he remembered. So I think the thing about travel that is not just for the young,
Mm.
that's another myth.
Hmm.
And it's starting to be blown apart now because more people are doing it. And if
Yeah.
you look online, you're going to see people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As long as you're mobile and you can get around, but even people who are not particularly mobile. I mean, I saw people in wheelchairs
Yeah.
and it's like you can do it and there are ways of doing it and it's there's the barriers are of your own making. And happiness is on the other side of that barrier for sure.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was real happy I set up a wheelchair at a couple of airports
Hmm.
that I would have missed my plane because
Really?
those airports were so huge.
Yeah.
And I think I've been to every major airport in the world, just about. And so I set it up because I had some crazy, like 3 flights around the world thing, or, like halfway around the world. And I had to catch these flights. And I'm like, I don't even know if I can run with all my stuff. So I set it up and I had never done it before. And I was so surprised at the
Oh yeah.
number of people that are doing this. It
Yes.
really can't walk. I mean, I knew that I didn't want to die of a heart attack, but these people, some of them had real physical problems, and there's a lot of people doing this that are not giving up travel. That's
Yeah.
actually was amazing for me to see that.
Yeah. Well, my wife has a problem with her knee, so she can't go too far. So the last time we went through London, we set all that stuff up, and we
Good.
got pre-boarded,
Yep.
and then especially going through Heathrow, which was ridiculous. It's like how far you had to travel to get to from one gate to the other. It was insane, right?
Ah,
But they put us on one of those little golf carts and
yep.
take us took us over there, and I'm like, this is amazing. We've
Yeah.
just cut like 20, 30 minutes of long
Yeah.
walking out of our
Yeah.
journey.
And
So
then
take advantage of it, damn it.
I'm telling you, I didn't know until I did this a couple years ago. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
If I ever have, like, there's certain airports that they are just ridiculously huge. Mexico City is one, and
yeah.
you can't get help.
Mm.
I told you that I would ask in Spanish where something was, and they would
Hmm.
tell me in English they don't speak English as an answer. Instead of telling, they just didn't, everybody does it there. So you're on your own. So you better set up some wheelchairs there. I'm not.
Yeah.
Whoa. But okay, so again, it's like you think, oh, I can't travel because I can't walk this far. Yeah, you actually can. I did it at JFK in Lisbon and one other place, and everybody was so crackerjack.
Yeah.
They were there. They took me there. Of course, you're tipping them. Of course, they get you there ahead of everybody. You get pre-boarding, like you said. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people have this pride thing going on, right? Where they're like, I can do it, and you're like like
Yeah, I had that one
suffering,
too.
over through, well, yeah, I did too, right? And you're suffering. It's like you're in like, the 15 minutes into this 20-minute walk to terminal X or whatever, and you're
Oh,
like, oh God, I wish there was another way.
yeah. And there
And
is.
there is. And it's like, okay, you are already in that category. It's okay for you to get help. It's not a big deal. It's just taking you from point A to point B. We're not saying you're an invalid. We're not saying, you're less of a person, but it's okay to do that. It's okay to lean into that a bit.
I was shocked at the kind of help you can get. I mean, there's two stages. They say, can you get off the plane to get into the wheelchair,
Right.
or do you have to get help? So I said, okay, I'm going to try the one where you have to get help from the
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
And they have this whole separate thing that they get you in so that you don't even have to walk off the plane. Have you?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's this whole different thing that you stay seated, and there were a lot of people.
Wow.
It wasn't
That's
just
cool.
me. And I don't remember if I understood the instructions about that there were two different levels, but I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
So that you stay in your seat, and then I can't remember how they get you out and into this thing at the back, but it's like this whole separate vehicle that like comes up to the top of the plane. Now, it wouldn't work on
Nice.
every airline, but there were plenty of people that were using that option, and
Yeah.
I thought, wow,
Yeah.
so
So see,
people
a
can
lot of this
still
stuff is not a
travel.
barrier. It's not a barrier.
It's the barrier in our mind that keeps us from having the happiness that we could have.
Exactly. Exactly. So unfortunately, I got a call right at the bottom of the hour, so I have to wrap it up.
Oh,
But
okay.
so what would you say is the number one thing that people need to do to get to take down those barriers to their happiness?
Take some risks, get with yourself, and do some quiet time in meditation, and just let it come to you. And if something keeps coming up, take a risk and do some experimentation with either your financial situation or your travel. Just take a baby step. Don't feel
Yeah.
like you have to, oh, I got to move to a new
Yeah.
country tomorrow.
But I think you have to find out, because a lot of times people don't really know what's going to make them happy. I think you have to determine that, right? You have
But
to
how do you know
determine,
before you try it?
yeah, exactly. You have to figure out what your goal is, and then sort of work. It's kind of like going through a maze. Remember the little paper mazes you used to do when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Like if you went through it backwards, it was real easy. You couldn't fail if you went backwards. If you started at the end and went back to the beginning, it's like, wow, this is so simple, right? So you have to think of it this way, figure out where you want to be and then work backwards to today and then figure out how you're going to get there.
And don't be afraid of it not working out because you can try something else.
Exactly. You can always pivot. You can always do something different. You can always, if it's not working out, then change and do something else. It's not all of a sudden, end of the world, that one thing I tried didn't work. Oh well, better go back to a corporate job.
Ooh, no.
Not there. Definitely not there.
No, keep going. Keep trying new things, and you're going to hit on something that is so amazing that you didn't even know existed. I guarantee
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been great as usual.
it. Thanks, Chris. This was
Okay,
fun.
where are you heading off next, by the way? Are you going back to Siracusa soon?
I am. Yeah. I
Excellent.
got my ticket for France first and then Syracuse in January.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll be doing it from there. It's like, we don't have any travels yet, but we just got back from Hawaii and it was beautiful. So maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Fun. Nice.
Have a good one. Talk to you
Okay,
soon.
you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained, I thrive, I thrive. Oh, I thrive, I thrive.